Hey class, today I will be introducing the first module of our course, Programming Language Paradigms. Recall that the two essential questions of our course are, what is a programming language and why care about programming languages? In this first module, we will answer the first question with this. A programming language is Java or C++ or Python or Haskell or Lisp or Prolog, etc. In other words, a programming language is an actual tool that millions of people use every day to code anything from government applications to websites to video games to machine learning models. But as we explored in our introduction to this series, a programming language can take many different forms, and almost anything can be a programming language. This raises a few questions. First of all, are there certain programming languages that are more similar to each other than to other programming languages? For instance, would you say that Java is more similar to C++ or to Haskell? And secondly, if these similarities exist, what are they? How do we classify programming languages? To answer these questions, we are going to learn about programming language paradigms. Object-oriented programming, abbreviated to OOP, is the paradigm you're most likely to already be familiar with, which is why it is our first topic for the module. This is the paradigm that is most often taught in introductory programming classes, for example, in AP Computer Science A. The next programming language paradigm, which you'll see pretty often, is functional programming, which is our next topic. As you can see in the logos of the functional programming languages, the Greek letter lambda features quite prominently. In our discussion of functional programming, we'll also get a preview of lambda calculus, which will appear later in the course. Then we have logic programming. While logic programming isn't as widespread as object-oriented or functional programming, I personally find it pretty interesting, so I decided to include it in the course. After that, we have domain-specific languages and then esoteric languages. While domain-specific languages and esoteric languages aren't really programming language paradigms in the same way that object-oriented, functional, and logic programming are, they represent an interesting and fun aspect of programming languages that you might not see in most introductory programming languages courses. Lastly, we will summarize the module, including a comparison across paradigms. There are many ways to describe programming languages, and these descriptors capture just a few. Each programming language paradigm could fill up an entire course. In this module, I'll give you just a brief taste of some of the most commonly used paradigms. If you are interested in learning more, I highly recommend you do some exploration on your own time. That wraps up our module intro. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you'll join me next time for an introduction to object-oriented programming.